So we're gonna test all the indicators from beginning, okay? And we're gonna test them on crypto as is a weekend, and we're not available to test in other pairs as gold that you're trading, okay? So let's start from the basis. As you see here, it's just empty chart with nothing, okay? It's just by default on MT5. So I offered you free indicators for $200, right? For an offer as a coming customer. But as you told me that you want to have a one reliable indicator that actually works for you in the way you are trading, because you are a scalper, so you know how scalping complicated is. There's different ways to scalping. Yeah, but the indicator I was mentioning before is called order flow absorption that I have over here. It's actually made for proper scalping. So let's start run from all the indicators from the beginning, from all the four I actually been showing on screenshots, and we're gonna see which one you think is more suitable for you to start to trade with. Okay, so we start from bankers candle zones. This is okay. Is improved. That means it's updated, up to date. So what you have to do here, the bankers candle strategy is actually it's kind of like a scalping swing. It's not a proper swing and it's not a proper scalping. It's actually a mix of two strategies in one. So we're gonna start to run it. So we take the indicator, we drag into the chart, right? We select our settings that we want, right? I don't want notifications to come in my phone. Okay, I don't want them to show on the computer. Maybe it's important for you, but I'm usually getting a notification on my email if I have to enter the trade. So you always can leave this to false and you can turn on this to true. What are these settings? The settings are actually it's make you run the indicator by your own decisions, what you want to see, what if you want notifications or not. All my indicators have this option. Okay. Then we have email notifications. Well, I prefer if I'm at work or I'm away from computer for some time, or I'm actually away in some gym or wherever I go. Okay. I usually live on email notifications. So I get my email and I know when I had to connect and place my trade, right? So I leave this on true, for example, okay? I click OK. What I see here is professional dashboard. I see my equity, my balance. Actually, this account that I use only for testing is a live account. You see €1 and $22. Okay, it's $1.22. Actually, don't use this account for trading. My proper account, it's have way more than that. Okay, it's only for testing. The advisors, the indicators for customers like you. So what I see here, my equity, my balance, and it says bunker zones, equal low zones active, which is means that you see an arrow appearing over here. Okay, and there is some kind of bar on a gray, right? That means that equal highs and equal lows. It still has to be detected. I cannot trade right now, even if I have a low impact news. I don't know where to enter because properly, well, what I can see is a volume profile on the right side. Okay, that's fine for me because I know what I have to do over here. But as the strategy is made only for equal zones, equal highs, equal lows, or a scalping swing, what I have to do is just wait for a proper shape to appear here, then I will buy. Okay, so let's go for scalping. Let's just 5 minutes chart. Okay, and I still don't see a shape around this, so I'm not available to trade. Even if I could, I still can't, because I need a proper shape to see over here. That when I see my equal highs and equal lows are detected. So what I have to do, I just wait. Okay, then what is important to know on this indicator, as you see here, you have a news event. What is going on? UK employment, okay, is a low impact because we're trading crypto. It's actually an old world. So for proper crypto, I don't need anything at all. Okay, crypto is a virtual currency, it's not real, but it's tradable, of course. Even though my indicator is telling me that the low impact of news is actually gonna impact the trading. So when low impact news, it's showing you was you know what to do. Basically, it doesn't mean anything. That means whatever trade I place for buy or sell, I care less about that. If I have here, it says medium news, medium impact. So my already can start to figure out, do I place the trade or not place the trade? Okay, depends in which kind of market profile area the market is actually working in this way. So what is happening here, I'm waiting for a shape to find me equal highs and equal lows. So basically I won't gonna trade till I don't see equal highs and equal lows appearing. Okay, then what we have in 26 minutes, 126 minutes, some of this news gonna show up over here. Okay, that is in Australia because we are, it says here out Australian dollar. That means we actually in the, I'm living in UK. I know where you're living. My time is 23:27. In Australia is 5 6 hours 7 more. So that means this happens in Australia. In my proper view right now, I'm still on the Friday, right? Because now it's 29. So all I have to do is just wait for equal highs and equal lows to form a shape over here, and then I can buy. I can rush in and trade on a buying side, right? But my volume profile says here that hey, this is the top. I won't be available to go too much further. But as I'm a scalping here, I said, I says, okay, fine. I can scalp like for some profit, right? It doesn't mean anything. If I was swinging, then yeah, that was a problem because I had to go to sell, right? But as you select the 5 minutes chart, that means that is gonna only be a scalping. If I select a 15 minutes chart, I might can see things different, right? I see the arrow on the bottom, so I might can enter in the short scalping swing, and the news, right, is in high impact. So even though if I enter a trade, am I gonna lose my investment right now? Because if I enter the trade, if I have a high impact news, that means I could fail, right? So I'm gonna wait for equals to 4. If I want to go to higher time frame and I want to start like proper low swing, okay, I go on 30 minutes chart. Also, volume profile says, okay, go. But still, I don't see the shape to form around these areas, okay? And this shape have a neural network inside. It actually shows when it's detect equal highs and equal lows on the same time, then I can enter the trade, because what equal lows and equal highs are, it's when in the market there is uncertainty and the buyers and sellers starting to make uh, candles that actually are equal. Okay, let me give you an example. If I go back a little, right, I can take a shape and show you as example what equal lows and equal highs is. I don't use 75 too much, so I don't. Okay, shapes, rectangle, right? So basically the shape gonna appear over here, right? This is our equal highs and equal lows. You see? Uncertainty in the market. So if I go further again, this shape still has to be formed around this equal highs and equal, but soon this is going to happen, because as I see here, equal highs, equal lows are almost there. And I see my arrow appearing there, so I can buy now. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to rush into the trade, and my other trade is going to go against me. Okay, so I don't going to really enter the trade now. So what I have to wait is this. Okay, once I see this, probably the arrow won't be not on the buying or maybe on selling. Well, that depends, because usually equal highs and equal lows are detected on this side of the market, right? So probably this can go for buy, but the arrow shows the accurate entry once the equal highs and equal lows are formed. So it's going to be probably a buy, and an arrow going to appear under this candle or here or somewhere over in the middle, and you're going to receive a notification on the email as we selected, right, that equal highs and equal lows was detected, and I can enter the trade. And let's say if I've been having this momentum here, I enter the trade here on the buy, boom, I actually swing up to this level. Usually when I swing almost to this level. Sometimes I go a little higher, because this is where the buyers are actually exiting the trade, leaving the place for sellers to sell down. And actually this is what happened, okay? So this is how this indicator works. So let's try other indicator now. We go to Bitcoin cash against the dollar. So this is first range of the first hour, right? Now, again, what I want to see, dashboard, I want to see RSI, I want to see range, I want to see Fibonacci, I want to see pair name, okay? And trading buttons. You can select them wherever you want it to. You can go select the lots. Anytime you press let's say buy and sell button provided by the indicator, you have actually this amount, okay? So that is automatic as also. So I need to see market profile. So of course I need to see that. I need to see periods. Periods are so important, because that determine your 24-hour trading. Okay, so I'll click OK and have this baby here. So what is this indicator properly do? So this is also, it's made for scalping swing, not only for scalping, okay? But it's a scalper swing, because this strategy is for scalper swing. So it's not proper scalper, but scalping swing that can go on the gold easy. So this strategy properly works with 5 minutes, only 5 minutes. What this strategy does, this strategy was really famous this year. If you heard in YouTube, first range of the first hour, it's when the first hour of the market begins, okay, the shape it's forming. Okay, so this is here, this is candle, it's actually been formed, like if you see back in time, we are in Australia. So yeah, so this candle was formed like an hour ago, okay? And the shape appeared over here. What is that supposed to mean? That's supposed to mean that the trades are open for buyer selling after the first hour range candle was formed when market open. So it's actually the first opening hour on the market, right? Let's say now we have on 23:35 in UK time. So we're not gonna wait 25 minutes to see what's gonna be. But to give you an example, this is past hour, and the shape was formed after 10 minutes of that hour. So this shape, it shows where the market is gonna go after the first hour of the range of the market, after the market was opened. So okay, it's gonna open. So every single hour, the shape gonna refresh himself, and at the same time, it's gonna form more shapes every single hour. Okay, so right now, as you see in the shape, this is a X, right? That means no trade. Why it means no trade? Because we don't want to trade in the shape just because we have uncertainty in the market also. It works similar to equal highs and equal lows, but that is different strategy. It's actually work in proper different way in 5 minutes that actually been really profitable for some traders that I've been using the strategy this year. So I see every time we see the shape is actually moving. But for enter the trade, it's in buy or on sell. Depends what market gonna do during this time left, like 23 minutes. In 10, 23 minutes, we're gonna see what market gonna do next. So actually we predict the market for five minutes further to know when to enter the trade for scalping swing. And once the shape is formed, right? I'm gonna give another example. Okay, shape, rectangle. So let's take 1 hour. So here we 23 to 50, 20. Okay, here we go, right? Here we go. This is a first range of the first hour, right? Because he's is in the hour, okay? 22:11. Okay, so you see what happened here, right? The market been going really bullish, but then it's turned out to bearish. And how we know where to make entry? Because we see the arrow. So the arrow been appearing over here, and the market, it shows when it falls down here that it's going to sell. So if we've been selling here, we end the profit till this level. Even if Fibonacci says this would have to take the profit, right? But this, to make you an idea, is a shape of the first range of the first hour, and we always see the arrow appearing here or here, like both like this. Depends where the market goes. Is this where we enter the trade? So if we've been entering the trade with this indicator over here, we have the profit over here, right? And we close the trade. To make sense, right? This is a bearish entry, right? Let's look for a bullish entry. Here we are in another shape. And we have here 17.5. We have like here. Okay, see this. So what happened here? This is the candle of the opening hour. So our shape will be appearing over here, right? And what the market did here, that was an uncertainty around this corner. So we don't know proper where to enter, but we can see that's in 1 hour here, the market starts to pick up the bullish momentum. So we probably know what happened this hour. There was uncertainty. That means no trade. And as the shape end of this candle right over here, so we know what we had to do next. We probably buy because you see the candle aligned parallelly to the shape here, okay, like this. Okay, so if we see the candle touching the shape, that means the market gonna go up, right? And this exactly what happened. Okay, then you have another formation, and this would happen, the sell. And now we're observing here what's gonna happen next. Okay, we still have 90 minutes to go to consider where the market gonna go. But the strategy is so simple for scalp or swing, whatever you want to do it. And every time, let's say, if the market gonna go bullish, suddenly gonna shoot up to this kind of level, we see here where we have to take the profit based on market profile. Okay, we know the area where things might gonna change. Fibonacci telling us by predicting the entry and the take profit. Okay, so we know what we're gonna do next. Okay, so this is our bid take profit, and for stop loss, if we go down a little, we see stop loss here also. So Fibonacci is telling us where has to put our stop loss and where has to put our take profit if we enter the trade in the bullish. If in case the market turn to be bearish, so it's all the same thing, but in case of a take profit, it's going to become stop loss, and this stop loss wants to become or take profit. So it's pretty the same. Okay, it's all the same. It's not no changes at all. It just depends where the market goes. It seems like it's gonna go down a little, so it's might gonna go till this point. Okay, so my is gonna go to this point. So then we know we have our take profit over here. Just to make you idea how this works. In continuation, you observe what's happening in the shape. If the green candle appears, that means it's 100% buy. If in case in the shape the red candle appears and touches the shape, that means is a sell and we end in profit over here. So this is how this indicator works. And seems like we are actually going down. So we're gonna sell like in 17 minutes, probably 17 minutes. So we still have to wait because the market can shift in any time. So, but just give you an idea here that the market is going down. But if we enter the trade here inside the shape and we're selling, we might gonna lose our investment because the market can shift suddenly up, and then this is what's gonna happen. Plus, what we see here is a market profile. Okay, he refreshes in the same time as the shape. It's actually basically showing you these areas, right? These areas where the most activity is taking place. You see, buyers and sellers, a war is going on. So this area where you don't want to trade, okay? Because the shape determines you and shows the X that no trade in this area. Only when we see the last candle appearing like this one, or the green candle appearing over here, and we know then if we buy or we sell. Okay? This yellow line is here that just is just telling you if you want to trade in the shape, where the stop loss is gonna be and where the take profit is gonna be, or where the take profit is gonna be and where the stop loss is gonna be, if you in case want to trade in the shape. But that's telling you no trade, because here is uncertainty and the first opening hour still is in the row. So the market can change at any time, and only you're gonna be available to enter only when the shape is finished and is formed like this, okay? And then you can decide where the market is gonna go and if you want to sell. Then if you sell, your take profit is you'll be on a stop loss, and your stop loss is gonna be on a take profit. If you buy, your take profit is gonna be over here and your stop loss is gonna be over here, okay? That is how this indicator works. Moving to the next, Ethereum multi-strategy X Pro. This is my new indicator that I developed like 2 days ago. So this indicator has three strategies, okay? Momentum, swing, and breakout. And they all on true. So let's say I want to use momentum for this particular pair. I'd sort also false. And I check what options I see here. Neural network detection. If I want a neural network detect my trades and show me accurate entry on the momentum, then I have to keep this activated. And if I want to see news scanning and possibilities to enter the trade, I keep this to true. Okay? Then Emma, that's all the indicator options and RSI. Then what we want to see, dashboard, support resistance, supply demand, pair name and center, if you want to see news impacts, we leave all to true if you want to see this. We can change the supply zone color blue or demand zone orange, whatever color we want. We just click it and we see it. Anything you want to change. Risk management type. I can use few. If I choose percent from equity, so every single time I'm gonna place the trip this indicator, right? That's gonna count me a percent from equity, not a fixed lot. Let me repeat that. If I choose this option, my entry not gonna be on lot size, on a fixed lot. It's gonna be percent from my equity, right? Or percent from my balance. But we're gonna keep on fixed lot, and risk value, we're gonna use 0.1, let's say for sell, you know what to do. And if in case I want to change, I just can go and you can choose percent from equity, then this won't be valid anymore. Okay, so let's say if I have $100 inside, €100 inside, so my entry gonna take the lot gonna do it gonna be calculated automatically, the calculation of the indicator, and my entry is gonna be like 1 or 2% from my balance or equity, right? Then we have a trailing stop. If I want the trailing stop, what trailing stop is? The trailing stop is actually a step of every 10 pips. If I want to keep on 10, I can just keep on 1. So every single time I'm in profit, let's say with 1 pip, my stop loss is gonna move for 1 pip further, so decreasing my risk. Okay. And the trailing stop once I reach 50 pips in profit. This where it's gonna stop. So I can do this to, let's say, 20. Okay. So if I do 20, so my stop loss is gonna go up on every single pip till he stops on 20 pips in profit. Okay. You can keep this on true, or you can get this to false, and there you are. That is actually not gonna work if it's on false. Then the rest, it's all colors, text colors. This doesn't matter for us. So yeah, so this is how this indicator it's settable. If you want to do momentum trading, false, two to false, one to true. So let's click it OK and see what's gonna be. Right, momentum. You're a scalper, so you have to use 5 or 15 minute chart. So let's go to 15 minute chart for scalping, short for 80% scalping and 20% swing. So what I see here resistance level, right? This is a resistance level that actually everybody knows what resistance and support is, right? If I go like this, right, I can see a support over there somewhere. Well, here it is, right? So everybody knows what support and resistance is, right? So I don't need to explain that to you. Then we've seen the shape, version, equity balance, server time, which strategy is activated, risk management is percent, which sessions we are in ASIN session right now. It says here because the time is almost there. We're trading Ethereum USD. We have a low impact news current and we have neural network active, right? So we see the arrow of momentum. What that means, the momentum trading it's when a lot of buyers or sellers enter at the same time, and that's what caused this big candle to form, and the trade is actually going skyrocket, like really high till this level, then boom, it's gonna get down because we are resistance, and unfortunately that's can be a breakout, but that breakout not work all the time. It takes a little time the market to break out over the resistance. So what momentum trading is, it shows the arrow that a lot of buyers enter in the trade at the same time. So if you miss that trade, you miss a lot of money, okay? That is also scalping and swing at the same time. Then if we scroll a little in the past, there was not so much interest. Oh, here we have sellers. So much sellers coming in the same time, boom, and we get to down, properly down, right? Then the market recovers again, and again the sellers enter the trade and bring the market so down. That is what momentum trading is. It's a swing. Probably it's like not a swing, but scalping swing if you trade on 15-minute chart, right? Because if you trade on 5-minute chart, you only scalp. If you trade with 15-minute charts, you're actually scalping and swinging, right? Like 80% of scalping and 20% of swinging. So this is how momentum trading works. You actually see the arrow, so much buyers and penetrate at the same time, and boom, there you have it, right? It's only a matter of time. Let's say if you take a coffee, you make yourself a coffee, you go to the table, and suddenly, boom, the arrow appears. You know that what you have to do, just decide what you're gonna do, which kind of lot size you're gonna use, and you just buy it, right? Because that is 100% accuracy. This is what momentum trading is, and it never fails. Never fails anyone. Okay. Now, if I don't want to do the strategy again, I want to change to different strategy. What I have to do, I go to tools. chart indicator list, right? Multi-strategy properties. Then I turn this to false and I choose swing trading this time. And let's use it true. Boom, everything suddenly changes. And now the indicators show me where possibly I can swing. What swing does? The swing is more like price action strategy. And of course, for 50 minutes chart, the swing is 20% accurate. So I have to move at least to 31-hour charts to swing properly. Okay, so let's say I decide to swing. What it swing do? The swing is a price action strategy, which means every time the news happen, whatever news release comes, the arrow appears in some of these places where the price or the idea of the government changes. It's when they decide to sell, like they sell here, so like this point, okay? And then suddenly buy again, but then sell out because the decision was, let's say there's had two swings here. So to buy that kind of this currency, Ethereum, right, against USD to a certain point and sell out the Ethereum till this point here, then they buy it for a little and then sell out again. So let's say if you enter the trade in this place, you just keep on going, just keep on selling and just wait for a profit. So where you can put your stop loss and take profit here. Well, that is up to you to decide in this kind of strategy because the swing, it's actually can swing down really, really down or can swing really, really high because this all depends from the price action and what government decides, and this where the swing happens. Some people looking with moving averages a swing to find those entries. Some people using money flow index, RSI. There are different ways to swing to catch that move. But I avoid all that indicators that actually are lagging off and they're not really useful for a swing trading. So I develop the indicator of this portion to automatically with neural network detect where to swing based of the news events and a price action. So that's pretty powerful strategy. But as you're not a swinger, you're more a scalper like. So if you want to, if one day decides to go to swing, just start from 50 minutes charts. 20% for swing, 80% for scalping, and you see how you're doing. Okay. And if you're gonna progress, you can always go to highest charts. So what is gonna happen if you, let's say, enter the trade over here? So your chart time frame is 30 minutes. So your best option is to wait for 30 minutes to see where the market goes after the news and price action releasement. Let's say 30 minutes. This happened in this morning on 7:30 and been going around for 30 minutes. Yeah, for 30 minutes, you should exit the trade over here because you don't know what's gonna happen. If you've been trading in 1 hour chart, then the swing been happening here on 8:28 on 22, and if you've been selling, you might exit the trade around this area over here on the swing, right? So you might enter, and after 1 hour, you might exit here. But for swing, it's best to use if you want. Don't wants to face a drawdown, like here you've been selling, the market starts to shift up and down, shift up and down. This is more daily swing. But for proper swing, it's good for you to use like 30 minutes chart, right? That is the best way. Or you can use a 50 minutes, but it's become like scalping swing. It's not proper swing. That is a good strategy that involves patience, right? And during this day, you have like three entries, like 1, 2, and 3, right? If you scalper, you might have 10 entries in a day. That's different, of course, with a little of profit. This is how scalper is. So now let's say I want to change my strategy again for this particular pair. What I'm gonna do, go to charts, indicator list, multi-strategy, properties, and I'm gonna turn those to false. And let's say, this time I want to use a breakout trading. So I just turn this to true and press OK. So what is a breakout? The breakout is when the market trying to break out through resistance or support, right? Like here. This was a breakout here. It doesn't show you the arrows here, like actually 1, 2, 3, 4 entries at once, right? It doesn't. It just actually show you that you had to buy here, buy here, buy here, buy here, and boom, right? This is a breakout, and then selling out, and then again you see the arrows, buy, buy, but this time the market sell out and the breakout was unsuccessful. This is a pretty powerful strategy with a 60% of accuracy, okay? But it involves patience. The breakout is more useful when the market is trying to break out more than 2 times, right? 1, 2, and the third time, boom. And once it breaks out, that means that is gonna go sky high like it, boom, right? For that is called like a double top, triple bottom, triple top, double bottom. That is more like a breakout swing. That is actually really powerful, can give you a lot of money at once, but you can lose all too. That's actually more like a risk, like risk strategy, you know? That is strategy is really risky, but it can give you really good results. Like here, buy, boom. The first buy, boom, single top. There you have it, breakout. There you are, right? Keep on looking, no arrows appearing here. That means no breakout is gonna happen. Only if you see the arrow, that's 100% gonna happen, right? Like here, the market starts to break the resistance, no arrow. You try it again, no arrow. Third time, boom, there you are. And once it breaks resistance, believe me, it's gonna go really high. Even if it's go a little down, but it's gonna go even high, right? And this is 4 confirmations for you. That is really good strategy if you willing to lose or win. This is actually more like a jackpot strategy, you can call it. Only, but that's adds you an upper hand because other traders gonna start to look for, oh, okay, one down, I sell, then boom, I sell again, and then boom, they don't see any arrows appearing, they know what's gonna happen. And they say they're gonna sell here. They want to sell the resistance because they think the resistance, when the level reach the resistance, that means you have to sell. That is not true. But for avoid that problem, this arrows here showing you breakout strategy that actually gonna work 100% if you're gonna follow the arrows. Because this is, and as I told you, neural network. It knows where to place the arrow. And so on, so on, so on. Okay? Here, probably we're not gonna see any breakouts for so long, right? If let's say the market gonna go down to the support, the market can have a breakout of bearish breakout over down here, but that is still to see, right? And now the market is out on the point where the breakout probably won't be possible till the market don't arrive on that level or on that level, right? That's just to let you know. Now let's go to the last indicator that I've been telling you, which is order flow absorption. Litecoin, and we're gonna switch, choose a 5-minute chart, and we're gonna drag this indicator in the chart, allow the signals inputs. Now, show footprint panel. If you want to see the footprint panel, I'm gonna turn to true because I'm gonna explain you what it is. And the rest, it's fine here. Volume profile, little arrows. Oh, everything is okay. So we click OK. And here we have it. This is what I've been telling you about proper scalping, right? A proper scalping way. So I'm going to take a short break and I'm going to come back. So here we are. So what I've been telling you about the proper scalping, right? On here, you have a dashboard of strategy information and a version. There you have equity, you have balance, news impacts, monitor. This indicator, every time monitor if the news gonna come out. As you see, it's turned off because the news are inactive because there is no news happening right now with this pair, right? Signal status. Currently, signal is standby. That means there is no anything happen in the market, no buyers enough and sellers enough to push the market on their decided direction. So here you have a footprint chart, a footprint panel, which actually showing you what's happening, right? So we have 68 buyers on the previous day. We have 43 buyers for this pair 2 days. All right, total we have 112 buyers. They're trying to buy the Litecoin, right? And we see everything over here. Then we have our sellers. Couldn't, we have one seller in action. So the seller actually, sellers was 126 previous day. And 2 days before there was 81 sellers. Total we have 207 sellers. What is selling us? Seller dominance. That means the seller dominating, controlling the market because he's probably planning to sell the Litecoin for USD dollars, right? So what we know in this, where the market goes, is probably going to go down because there is more sellers than buyers in this kind of trading, in this kind of pair since Wednesday, okay? So what we know about this? See, the seller was trying to sell the market if your previous day, August 28, like 50 minutes, like here. The seller entered the trade in Wednesday. So we have to find here, let's say here, right? Here you have, boom. And the market has been going so down, right? Then the buyers appear and they push the market up again, but the seller take the upper hand and just sold again. And in which point we are here? We are here on the market indecision. So for I say us. Let's say for us scalpers, what we know, we have to look on a market profile that the market can actually accumulate some buyers over here, right? There's a buyer trying to buy the market. But for enter the trade, what we need is the arrow and the absorption. So what I mean by the absorption, I just take again a signal of a shape. Yeah, shape. Where's the shape? Okay, shapes, expert, scripts, objects, began, Fibonacci shapes, rectangle. So what I mean by absorption, the arrow gonna appear, right, when a seller absorb all the buying pressure. So probably that will be our entry point. And you're gonna see the arrow appearing below this candle or this in the middle. That's what we have here is the absorption. The seller absorbing all the buying pressure to sell out the market. Actually, he's in a drawdown right now. But as the dominant hand is of the seller of 207, so the sell gonna happen really likely. And when that happens, the arrow gonna appear over here somewhere, okay? And it's probably gonna show like tools, let's say objects need arrow. I want to show you the example. Fibonacci shapes, arrows, right? Arrow up, right? So here we're gonna see some arrow like this, and it's gonna be probably in green because that's gonna telling us that the buyer taking an upper hand. So we know that our movement, it might be a buying, right? But what's happening here, you see the total of sellers actually decreasing and buyers increasing. So the buyer take the upper hand around this level. And what we see here is objects. Come on, I always forgetting. All right, objects, shapes. And what we see here, it's another absorption happening, right? Here, exactly in this place. And the buyer taking upper hand, right? The sellers decreasing, buyers increasing. That means that we soon gonna see an arrow here somewhere around that says buy. So we know that the absorption happened, the AI detected the absorption pressure and who is in control. And we see over here. So let's say the things turns to be different. Let's say now we have a buyers that actually taking the upper hand. But what happened if the seller gonna take the upper hand? Right. Arrows down. So you might can see also the arrow pointing down, which is means is gonna mean that some buyer here gonna get trapped, and the seller gonna take upper hand, and more sellers gonna enter the trade. And what market gonna do is gonna go straight down. It's gonna go just straight down to this point, somewhere around here on the market profile, right? Or it's gonna reach the target where the seller was trapped, where it's absorbed all this buying pressure, and bam, the market can go straight down here. We don't know that. How can we avoid that to happen? So you have to just take a look on this. So you know basically what's happening and which taking upper hand. And once the arrow appear, that means that is your entry, or buying or selling. And this indicator have automatic notification on PC. So you might see boom, a sound, and you see the arrow. So which just means that's where under absorption happen and more sellers taking upper hand than the buyers that you see over here. If in case you want to see the arrow up buy and buyers saying upper hand, that means the market is gonna break through the volume profile and go even higher. Okay, so what you have to do here, once you put this indicator on your chart, you activate the footprint. That's all you need. You just have to wait patiently for the absorptions to appear. And what we see here, the buyers taking upper hand again and sellers actually getting lost. So the buyers now trying to sell the market for a certain level and rebuy again with that, but pushing up the Litecoin up, right? So when you see some of these increasing, that means the arrow will appear soon. So you don't need anything else. You only turn on this on and you see what is gonna happen soon. Right now, arrows don't not appearing just because we are on night and there is not so much activity happen right now, right? You only see when the market actually do something, actually trying to do something, but arrow only gonna appear once the absorption gonna happen. Only the arrow, because that's what is showing you where the scalping is possible. Now, for a safe profit and stop loss, you have to keep in mind this. If it's better for you, just take two lines. Let's say if enter trade over here, right? So if you enter trade over here, so your stop loss, you might gonna go, you can go over here around this red things, red bars, right? And you can leave this to the red, so you know where your stop loss is gonna go. So if you aim for a safe profit, you take the line as you're a scalper and just put a line and a green, right? Got it blue, whatever. And you know that here, if the arrow will appear over here in some time. So if you're just selling, you have to take profit over this line. Because if you go under volume profile, well, you can go under like few bars, but when you see the orange, so this where the absorption can probably take place. If you're buying, let's say if you buy over here, so what you have to do, just change the colors for the take profit on green, and the stop loss should be red, deep pink, red, whatever, right? And your stop loss is gonna be under the green bar of the volume profile. So you know where to take profit and where to take stop loss, right? So now about this blue line, this blue line showing you where the market, on which point the market is right now, and what's happening under this line that is gonna determine your entries. So every time the candle gonna overcross the blue line, it can be here or here or here, that's where market predicts and actually thinks that my absorption can happen, because that's just a line of point of control, okay? And where the buyer or seller taking the upper hand. So as if you get this indicator and let's say you trade Monday, then every 5 minutes, even 10 minutes, right? You can see different arrows appearing telling you where to trade. Right now, you have to stay put. You cannot trade because there is no signal that appears and showing you where to go next. Just keep in mind, it's so simple. Just keep on look on these, who is more and who is less, and who is a dominant. A market dominant is a buyer. A signal is a seller. So you know what probably can happen. About this, that it's only gonna see how much buyers or sellers entering the trade, and these numbers can really stay on the zero, when they actually can go really like 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, really much. And this only shows the entries of how much buyers or sellers are interested in buying or selling that kind of pair. Okay, so this is how proper scalping is done. Okay, it's not some random, let's say this is a hammer, right? Let's say if I see the hammer here, some traders do like this. They take an object and what they do is actually they take a shape. Let's say just like this, right? Something like that, or whatever what they're doing, right? Just making this actually candle appearing like this, and they think if it's a hammer, that means it's gonna be a sell, and this starts to place orders here on the sell, and boom, the market shifts directions, go up. That is not actually, it's a scalping, but it's not really accurate, and it's not really proper how used to. For scalping, you want to make fast entries, fast money. You don't need to see the candles, which shapes they are. They just don't mean anything. What it means is that in this kind of proper momentum, you only have to see how much buyers and the sellers are in this kind of candle. So like this first candle, in the previous second, there was 72 buyers. And in the first candle, we have like 38 buyers and 70 sellers. So what's gonna happen? This gonna really go sky high, because in this candle we have 70 sellers. In the previous candle we had 42 sellers. So automatically we have more buyers for now, but we have more buyers in the previous candle, this one, than in this one. Okay, this all determines your own entries. So this is how this indicator works. It's not so complicated. It's just because right now this indicator doesn't gonna show what happened in the past. It's only place the arrow once the absorption is possible. Okay, so this basically what this scalping is about. And it doesn't matter which kind of pair you're gonna choose, that's gonna be your forte. Okay, so there you have it. So if you want different explanation, I don't know which one explanation more clear than this I can give you with all these indicators. But if you're a scalper, so I suggest you to get this indicator or multi-strategy one. or any of these are good for you. Bunkers candle zones are more like for scalping swing. First range is more for scalping, not for swing. So also you can think about first range of the first hour. Or multi-strategy is also momentum trading, swing trading, breakout if you want to try your own new skills and learn them. So this indicates this for you. If you think only about the scalping, so that is the indicator that you want to go for because that's going to 100% guarantee you profit. I use this indicator myself when I'm feeling that I want to scalp because I use a C trader. I have I convert this indicator to a C trader also. So I usually use a C trader for trading, but MT5 is good for me. I don't use for a long time MT5. I only keep this MT5 and this broker just for tests or EAAs or indicators or Pythons. I don't use this properly. Okay. More I use a C trader one. So whatever questions you have, I can answer you tomorrow or whatever. This a weekend, so you have time to decide which ones you want to go for. Right? And if you want to buy one indicator from me, I give you 30% of discount. That's all I can go. Okay. Because I don't sell this indicator for cheaper price because for build indicators like this, it's taking me like a day, two, sometimes a week, because I'm doing a coding. I use a coding. I used to do fixed Dreama, but I cannot add some options as neural networks, as news impacts in fixed Dreama because it's more like base of indicators that MT5 has. I don't really use fixed them anymore. I only actually code the indicators, code the EAs, code the Pythons, whatever I want to build. Right? As I say, I'm working on a different now project, which is actually involves butterfly pattern, wolf pattern, dragon pattern, cobra pattern. It's gonna take me like more than one day to develop that, right? On a professional level. So as I study order flow, I study volume profile, I study I was studying as well candle shapes, different types of indicators, lying indicators. I know all of that stuff. That's why I'm a developer because I do this for passion and do this because I like to do it. I like people to trade in a proper different way than in an old way because some people for scalping using really not precise and accurate indications that can go to failure, right? Let's say if you work with gold, it doesn't matter which pair actually you'd work with. If you like gold, just go for gold, silver, palladium, platinum, whatever pair you want to trade. It's up to you. If you think that gold is good for you, just trade only gold. But what if my personal experience of 10 years in trading and learning, I usually trade forex, metals, stocks, futures, right? It's doesn't matter which kind of pair you're trading, and the result's gonna be the same. At least you're a fan of the gold, right? Or silver, yeah. You want to gold to go higher. Let's say you like Ramsdens or whatever shop you like about jewelry. So yeah, that's kind of good for Actually, I doing more these things for my own because I don't really care about metals. I don't care about stocks. I don't care about currencies. I only care to sit down on a computer and make money. Doesn't matter which pair is. I trade even crypto. Really, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't matter. I get paid from my broker. That's all I want. I don't need to be a fan of some kind of pair or metal or stock or oil or forex pair, whatever I want to. I it's Actually, this is my line, But if you're a fan of some kind of metal, yeah, just go for it. If it's give you money, go for it. It's always important in trading to trade one pair if you are a beginner or advanced. Then it's actually you don't need to make so much setups. I get that. I get that. And I know that for trading one pair, I find pretty boring because I don't like to trade one pair. When I'm sitting and trading, I usually trying to see the sessions, which kind of sessions I want to trade. Sometimes I use a Britain session, London session, and Asian session. This is my favorite ones. I use sometimes American session also, but it's mm, too much pressure happening in American sessions. So usually I like to trade really quietly in peace, without stress. Because American session is a little too much stressful for me sometimes. So I just use London and Asian. I like where the market is quiet and that's it. I used to use funding challenges, but that was a waste of time because I really didn't accomplish anything. I've been making more money with a regular broker by putting my own money on the line and building my account really every week 100, 200, 300 pounds. And they put like 200 pounds for some kind of funding company and just have no chance to win and to withdraw my money because funding companies all about that. They are actually all about let you lose, not let you win. They actually give you a demo account, they're scaling your account, and that's all they do. They give you like 5% of, if you just reach 5% of loss, you actually close your account. And what with my money? Gone. So that's why I like to use regular broker, just because I don't want rules. I don't want to have any drawdowns. I don't want to challenge anybody. I don't want any competition. All I want is make money. So whatever point you are, whatever, if you trade with um, funding companies, it's okay. Good luck with that. If you trade with regular broker like I do, you are on the good point because you have no rules. That's what's most important. So you have no rules in the trading because funding companies are actually useless. To be clear, they don't give you enough freedom and space. They just keep you like really on the stress, under pressure. You're always trying to learn something new. You're always trying to get something new, some kind of fabulous indicator that's actually going to give you out of profit. Well, that's the reality for you. That's not going to happen. At least you're going to make it happen. What I'm doing, I'm trying to help people to trade without stress because I don't want anybody to go through the stress that I was. So when I become a developer and a digital creator, it was like 4 or 5 years ago. So I decided to create my own stuff. That the stuff I learned, that I paid for courses, for books, and I actually all the indicators that I develop and expert advisors develop, it's all from my own knowledge. Okay, there's no such a thing as like indicator as I see indicators, expert advisors in a market that I'm selling in MakeU5, they put like 1,900 or 3, 4,000, $5,000 uh, mm, advisors or indicators there, and I just try to download few just for free to test them, and that was absolute disappointment because that is all random and it's actually doesn't lead you anywhere. It's actually I think it was Ponita, along Ponita, the advisor was calling this for 5,000. Said, oh, this should be a 100% advisor to give me money, right? Well, guess what? I tested and it wasn't worth that kind of price. That is absolutely ridiculous because it's only have moving average, RSI, and some kind of another two indicators that I remember. I think Bill Williams or oscillator or whatever. I think they had like oscillator. I think what was it called? Like, oh yeah, triple exponential moving average. So that leads you nowhere. Moving average is only used for to see the curves in the market. So that is not gonna really lead you anywhere. So they've been developing those advisors for $5,000 and say like, okay, that is actually really useless. And the trades that are opening, the AI as opening is actually random, right? I don't want to lie to people when I'm selling my stuff. I'm trying to give them what I learn to let them be in a good path, right? You text me what they should choose, and I told you, I give you different chances, and even with cheaper stuff than in the market that I'm selling, right? Just because I know the trader lets you, if you are a beginner or advanced wherever, I love to give a discount to someone who actually can really make money with my stuff than buying a crap from the market with big prices that lead you nowhere. Yeah. So thanks for sticking me so long. I believe I was so clear. And whatever indicator you decide to buy from me, just text me and we're gonna get from there. Bye.